on my mind. You know, everybody goes through a storm sometimes.
God is, and Rainier Avenue Radio World have a new address. We're now located at 4916 Rainier Avenue South in Columbia City, 98118. God is still loving on your community, being a blessing and meeting the needs of the people. Don't miss any of our amazing shows. Your favorite community radio station. Tune in and come on down and get some free food and let us continue to love on you. Don't forget to tune in. See you soon for free food and free entertainment with God Is and Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
Get down.
What's up, big and little homies? This is Masvita Maraire, host of Seattle Sports Weekly on Rainier Avenue Radio .world, your one-stop shop for Seattle sports. We cover preps, we cover college, we cover pro, we cover it all. Huskies, Mariners, Seahawks, Garfield, South, Roosevelt, Petro, King County. This is where you want to listen to for all the sports that's happening in Seattle. Seattle Sports Weekly on Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
Greetings. This is your host, DJ Neftali, Rainier Avenue Radio .world. The best DJ in the Seattle.
They can't do a test.
Catch me every Monday at 8 p.m. on YouTube. Like I said, this is DJ Neftali, the best reggae in Seattle, Washington, the best radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio .world. Come on, right?
How would COVID vaccines work in your body? Here are 3 things to know. Number 1, a vaccine is basically a training session for the immune system. Vaccines teach the immune system to look for the key features of a virus. So when a virus does show up, it's ready to fight it off. Number 2, a vaccine gives your body a plan to recognize the virus. Then your immune system starts preparing by making antibodies, or fighter cells, that stay in your blood as protection in case the virus tries to invade. What this means is you get immunity against the disease without having to get sick first. Number 3, when enough people's bodies know how to fight off a virus, it has nowhere to go. That slows the spread. When people get a vaccine, we're able to stop the spread quicker and get closer to ending the pandemic. To learn more, go to covidvaccinewa.org. A message from the state of Washington.
Rainier Avenue Radio. Rainier Avenue Radio.
Welcome to Real Estate and Money, a half-hour program on Rainier Avenue Radio .world designed to help you whether you're a buyer, seller, investor, or renter in real estate. Your hosts are 2 local professionals who will escort you on your journey. Violeta Strash, who has years of media advertising and marketing experience and brings this extensive knowledge to John L. Scott Real Estate and all our clients. And Tina Lombard, who is a mortgage loan originator with guaranteed rate affinity, with over 28 years of experience. And now here's Violeta and Tina.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Tina.
How's everybody doing?
Good. It's such a lovely day. We've had such great days.
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard you guys had 90-degree weather. Is that correct?
Mother's Day was awesome. And it's going to get better.
That's great. That's great news. Wow. Yes.
And so you had some unfortunate things happen over there.
Yeah, we had a lot of snowstorms. We're going to be talking about that today. We had a lot of weather hazards happening this week. We had tornadoes here in Colorado, and these aren't just regular tornadoes that throw cows or anything like that. But nonetheless, there was hail, there was damage, there was car damage, roof damage. So we're going to talk about that later on. But meanwhile, Violeta, what do you have behind you? It looks like a volcano.
You know what? Mount St. Helens, May 18th, 1980.
Wow. Okay.
Created a lot of havoc in the area, and it affected a lot of homes. So that's what we're going to talk about is, events that have happened in natural disasters that occur that could mess up your home.
Yes. So if you're out there watching in TV land, make sure that you tell your family and friends to tune in, because today we're going to be talking about tornadoes, Mount St. Helens volcano type things happening, earthquakes, different things, and how you can prepare your home financially and insurance wise, and what you need to do to be prepared if some type of catastrophe should happen.
And we will have we will have a special guest star, right?
Yes. Toby will be on a little bit later, so we're going to introduce him. So make sure you grab your family and friends and get over to the television really quick, or to the stream real quick. So V, go ahead. Let's get some updates.
All right. Yes, the updates for our inventory counts here in Washington. For King County, active listings in the past week, 420. Pending inventory, 338, and sold homes, 323 at an average price of $1,135,000. Last year, it was $1,122,000. So 1% difference there. Days on the market for April in 2022, we had 12 days on the market for you sellers. To note, this year, 22 days on the market, a little bit longer. Yes, because people are still trying to find all those homes, and not a lot of them out there right now.
Yes.
Percent to the list price, 108% last year versus 101 this year. So prices have come down a little bit. Closing has come down a little bit off the list price. And then showings per listing, 18 showings. And this year, 8 showings. Showings to pending, 26 last April and 18 this year. Now in Pierce County, we're looking at active listings out there, 186. Pending 149, and sold inventory at 164, average price of $571,000. This last year was 606. So there's a 6% difference, but looks pretty close to me, Days on the market, 13 days last April versus 27 this year. So a couple of weeks difference. Percent to the list price, 104% of the list price, and now it's 101% to list price. Showings per listing, 11 showings last April versus 6 this year. And then showings to pending, 16 showings to get to that pending status versus 14 this April. And then Snohomish County, we're looking at listings of 151 in the past week, 153 went pending, and 152 sold at an average price of $880,000 versus $819,000 last year. That's 7% difference right there. Days on the market, 11 days last April versus 25 days. So 2 weeks difference. And then percent to the list price, 107% versus 101, let's say, this April. Showings per listing, 16 showings and down to 7 showings this April. And then showings to pending, 21 showings to pending for last April and 15 this past month. So there you have it. Our inventory counts for our 3 favorite counties here in Washington State.
Okay, great. Well, let's look a little bit at what the mortgage department is doing, what we've been doing the last couple of weeks here. And so if you could pull that up really quick, Dan. So, as you can see, the interest rates actually have lowered a little bit. The 30-year fixed rate is at a national average of 6.564 with an APR of 6.642. The 20-year is at 6.252, an APR of 6.380. Now, the 7-1 ARMs, let's look at that, the 7-1 ARMs and the 5-1 ARMs. The 7-1 ARMs are at 6.427. So there really isn't a big difference between the 30-year fixed or the 7-1 ARM. The 5-year ARM is at 6.235. And that's not too much of a difference between the 30-year fixed and the 5-1 ARM also. If you look down just a little bit more, you can see that the rates are kind of going upwards. I don't know, Dan, if you've got the mortgage rate. Let me give you
I don't think he has a link.
Okay, hold on for a second. Maybe I didn't send it, but yeah, but you'll see that the trends on the interest rate of mortgages are still going upward. They're not slowing down anytime soon. So let me go ahead and say here. Yeah. So as of May 6th, so this rate that I have on the screen is just a couple days old, but as of May 16th, it looks like the 15 year is at 7.125. Is that right? Yeah. The 15 year, no, I'm sorry. The 5-year ARM actually is a little bit higher. So what we want to do now is look at that 30-year mortgage. It still is the best bet out there. 6.564. That's still the best bet out there. The rates we're thinking are going to probably start coming down towards the summer. At least that's what everybody hopes. So it's not really making a dramatic difference in what you're doing. I'm seeing rates right now at 6.5, 6.4. I'm seeing FHA loans, the same thing too, 6.65, 6.5. VA loans are a little bit higher. So just any luck of the day, any luck of the draw, you're going to have an interest rate right there in the mid 6s. So if you're still looking for a house, it's still a good time to buy. It's a lot lower than it was a couple of weeks ago where it was at 7.125 or what have you. Chances are if you make an offer on a house right now and the rates do go down, you'll be there. You'll have the house in hand. When the rates go down, there are more people on the market. There are more buyers on the market. So these houses that will only have 5 buyers come through, if interest rates go down any lower, more people qualify, you may have 10 or 15 buyers go through. So it's a healthy market for you to go ahead and snatch a home. So 6.564 national average is not bad at all, ladies and gentlemen. And if that makes sense, if you buy a house at 6.5, that's great. If the interest rates should go back down to 5.8 or at 5%, there's going to be so many people on the market. It's going to drive the prices of the houses up. You don't want to be in the market when the rates get a lot lower because there's a lot more competition. And I remember back in the days where there's people, they'll look for 6 months to a year to find a house because there's so many people out there in the market. So right now that 6.564, I'm very excited about that because there's still not a lot of people in the market, a lot of people waiting for the rates to go back down. But by the time they grab that house and the rates go down, they're going to be paying a lot more for that house, if that makes sense. You're going to be paying a lot more because there'll be a lot more people on the market. The values of the houses are going to go up. So if you are wanting or if you're needing to buy a house, do not hesitate until the rates get any lower. Not right now is a very healthy market. So that's all I have for today.
And as Tina always says, when the rates come down, refinance your mortgage.
Yes, absolutely. Refinance your mortgage when the rates come down, but you'll have the house. So, if you buy a house right now, let's say at $750,000, and then the market starts going crazy, the interest rates start going down, there are going to be so many people in the market. The houses may go up to 775, 810 before you know it. And so all these people who are waiting they're waiting for the rates to go down from 6.5 down to 5%. They think that they're going to have a lower payment, but not necessarily so, because now the houses are more competitive. Now the value of the houses are going to go up. So you're paying the same rate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're going to be still making a higher payment. So if you can buy right now, buy right now. Don't wait for June, July, or August because you're going to be competing with everybody and their mother. It's like Black Friday, after Thanksgiving. You're going to be fighting with everybody. You don't want to do that. Mm-hmm.
And you don't want your rent to escalate to about $4,000 is what I'm hearing per month.
It's insane.
For 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Not even yours. You're helping them pay. You're helping that landlord pay for their mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
So why do you want to do that? Put it in your pocket, not theirs. Don't rent. Buy a home.
Yeah, it's insane. I've been getting people, from Seattle. You've been sending me some people, and how much are you renting? I'm paying $3,800 a month. We need to get you a house. We need to get you a house because now, a lot of people aren't buying houses. So the rental market is very strong, very healthy. There are people out there buying investment properties because they know the rent is going to be high. So if you're an investor, that's great because it's a very strong rental market. But if you are somebody who can afford to buy and you're holding off, you're really losing out. It really behooves you to go out there and get a house and get those tax write-offs and not be paying for somebody else's equity and wealth.
Yeah, because not only is it rent, you got utilities to pay on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. So for other people out there, this may be your second, third, or fourth home. And there are a lot of people in the market with that. And one of the main things that we always worry about is if there is a storm, if there is flooding, if there is hail damage like we experienced in Colorado last week, if there's like heat damage. You know, in Seattle, you guys are having record numbers in heat and so on and so forth. If a catastrophe should occur, an earthquake or what have you, are you properly insured? Are you properly financially? Do you have your ducks in order so that if something should happen, you have the wherewithal, enough insurance coverage to take care of your house, you know, and so on and so forth. So we're going to be talking about that today. And so, Daniel, if you can bring Toby on. Can you bring Toby yet? Okay. Oh, an audio only? Okay. Oh.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go. We got to figure it out this time.
Toby.
Yes. So Toby, we're going to be, you know, we're about to go into the break, but we just want to tease our viewers really quick. And just really quick, in about 30 seconds, tell us what you're going to be talking about today.
Well, I'm going to be talking about ways to prevent damage should something happen. And I'm going to be talking about specifics on what homeowners coverage will cover versus what you need extra for. So
great. So anyways, you want to come back and join us on the other side of this break. Mm-hmm.
Tune in to Real Estate and Money every Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 to 3 here on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Join your hosts Violeta Strash with John L. Scott Kent North and Tina Lombard with Guaranteed Rate Affinity. They'll help you navigate the waters of our volatile real estate market and offer you some guidance on how to make your hard-earned money work to make your dreams come true. Learn about current trends, get tips on financial matters, and have fun, interactive discussions about your home inside and out. That's Real Estate and Money.
Great. Here we're back. We're back.
We getting feedback?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
Hear anything? I hear feedback.
Okay. Daniel, let us know if we hear something, if we can adjust our levels. But tell between your speakers down just a little bit, I guess. Yes. So just there in TV land or in viewer land, let's talk about what happened last week here in Colorado. So, 3-something in the afternoon, I'm at the Denver Tech Center, and all of a sudden we get this tornado blast on our phones and all over the building, and even in my neighborhood. There was a tornado. None of us expected that. But, and I have the camera on at my house, and there was hail coming all over the place. I mean, there's hail damage on my daughter's car, and my plants were destroyed. And, depending on where you were in the area, you got more hail. So there's going to be a lot of repairs, so on and so forth. And so today we've got Toby on the line, and Toby's going to be talking to us about what type of coverage you need, how to be prepared in case a catastrophe happens, or maybe not a catastrophe, but something that's warrants damage to your house, what you can do about it.
Well, before we do that, can I show you some pictures? Daniel, do you have the PowerPoint up of natural disasters that happen here in Washington State? This was from the earthquake way back in 1999. Next screen, Daniel, is the other thing we have. Forest fires encroaching onto, like in Oregon. They had forest fires in downtown, in a lot of different areas in Oregon. Next is we have a lot of flooding, flash floods, that little island. We used to probably have a yard and a road going to the house, but yep, that's a normal occurrence here.
Okay.
And then Daniel, next screen. Oso, do you remember that Oso landslide? It was a huge disaster here in north of Seattle, and damage to homes and vehicles and land in general. Landslides. Okay, and then the next one are windstorms. I know Toby's going to probably talk about windstorms.
Yeah.
Stuff like trees falling on homes.
Yes.
And then of course that's it. And then Mount St. Helens, huge disaster.
Yes.
The event here.
Yes.
So, that's it. Thank you.
Okay.
No, thanks.
Okay. So how's your mic now, Toby? Tell us a little bit about what you see there.
Yeah, so with some of those photos that you're showing, those are going to be special coverages, and I'll tell you why. Because homeowners insurance is typically going to cover hail damage. They're going to cover, pipe breaks in your house. They're going to cover sewer lines if it backs up into your house, if sewage comes in from your septic or whatever. They're going to cover those. every time.
Mhm.
But there's going to be some things that they're not going to cover that you need to get special endorsements on. For example, an earthquake. An earthquake coverage sometimes can be added as an endorsement depending on the company and their policy structure. But oftentimes your best bet is to go into the open market and try and find earthquake insurance or flood insurance to cover those bases. So when you show that photo of the flood and you have the water coming up, there's two types of flood. You're going to get coastal floods, which is like waves that come across, or you're going to get standing water, which is what you're seeing here, which is water that's just continuing to rise up and up and up from the ground, essentially. You know, there might be river overflow, but it's really just coming up from the ground. When that happens, it's good if you live in areas like this where you're near a creek or river to be prepared. Have things like sandbags, fans to dry out your house, to keep it dry. Tarps are huge. If you have tarps and bungee cables to cover certain things, just to keep the water from getting inside, like your home or your car. Those are the kinds of things that you can do to prevent it. And as far as the slide that you showed with the trees falling over from the wind, the best way to mitigate against that is to cut your trees. The insurance companies really don't like overhang on trees. You see how close these massive trees are to your house. I know here in Colorado, they're so concerned with the fire that if you don't cut those trees out from around your house, they'll cancel your insurance policy due to negligence. So it's very important that you take care of those sorts of things around your home.
That's very smart.
Yeah. It's a combination of having the right policy and doing the right things on your property to protect yourself.
Right. So when you buy a house in a neighborhood, let's say like in Seattle, you don't know. You're from out of state. You don't know. You're relocating there. And somebody says, "Hey, let's buy a house in Chehalis, or let's buy a house in a certain area." Do insurance companies know by zip code what you probably would need weather-wise?
Yeah, the insurance companies are going to know, but this is why it's so important, and especially with the younger like first-time home buyers that are maybe late 20s, early 30s that don't really talk on the phone that much. It's going to be a stretch for them to learn how to communicate over the phone, but it's very important that you talk to your agent, because he's going to be able to look at things in the history on that property. They're going to see, hey, you had a hailstorm in 2017, or hey, part of this house burned down in 2003. What's going on with that? Is there anything about that we can, look at? Those are the kinds of things that you can find out from just talking to your agent. If you're looking at buying a property in a certain area, you can call them, say, "Hey, looking at this house, what's going on here? Is there anything I should know about?"
Yeah. So, not so much in Denver, but in Seattle, a lot of the properties there they're in flood zones, and they do require national flood insurance. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So with those areas, there's two ways you can handle that, and I always tell the clients to do one of two things. I can quote the flood insurance, no problem. Your agent who you're working with typically has access to those programs. Or you can go and you can look on the open market and see if you can find something for yourself, because there's two reasons you want to do that. A, maybe you need the flood insurance in that area, but your budget is still important for what you can afford, right? It's not like it's not a factor. If you don't get flood insurance on the property, that sucks, because you'd have to come out of pocket if something like that happens. But you also have to be able to afford to pay the bill on that flood insurance. And I know in places like in Colorado, in northern Colorado, where we do get floods, that flood insurance can be twice what you pay on your homeowner's insurance. Wow. So it's very important to look at the whole picture with your insurance and see, well, yes, it's in a floodplain, but it doesn't flood. It only floods every 20 years. Okay. Well, then you can make that decision as a consumer, whether or not it's worth it for you. If you're in a place where, hey, this floods every couple of years, maybe I should put some money aside and buy that flood policy, right? Just to cover my bases.
Well, actually,
or buy a boat.
Yeah. Go ahead, V.
I was going to say, or buy a boat.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a very good strategy. It's funny because in Louisiana, they do have boats outside their house.
Well, yeah. And to your guys' points, in some of those areas, the buyer the one who owns the home, the homeowner, is required to have those, right?
Yeah.
So they can get it from wherever they want. They just have to make sure that they get it in some of those areas.
Yeah, that's true. So Violeta, every time we do a loan, we actually look on a national flood cert. The address will pull up whether it needs flood insurance or not. And if it does need flood insurance, we will not do the loan unless it has flood insurance. So I had a client last week. She's buying property 1.1 or 1.3 million in Florida, Crystal Beach, and her flood insurance was $1,000 a month minimum, and that was in the purchase contract. You will pay for flood insurance. So a lot of times, you have no choice. If you're in a flood zone, if you want financing, if it's on a flood map or it's deemed in a flood zone, you have to pay, and that's a national law.
Yeah, and I want to be very clear too. Any kind of water that comes up from the ground or rolls down a hill or anything related to rain like that, it is not covered by your homeowner's insurance. That is flood insurance specific. Any kind of groundwater. The only thing homeowner's insurance is going to cover is breaks or a leaky roof, breaks in pipes, breaks in sewer line, that kind of thing. And it all has to be done through the proper endorsements.
Right. So really quick, last week here in Colorado, I believe it was $2.3 billion in damage. One of the highest costing, so far, one of the highest costing endeavors that happened here in Denver. So really quick, Toby, since we're here in Colorado also, talk to us about if you have hail damage on your house, roofing, tell us what we need to know. So
my advice is if you have any kind of hail damage, definitely get with a roofing contractor. Don't wait for somebody to knock on your door. Those guys that knock on your door, some of them are legitimate contractors, but there could be a lot of scams out there. They just want to get the deductible check and they'll run away. So you got to be very, very diligent about who you work with. You want to get recommendations. I always say get recommendations from another professional, whether it's a realtor, mortgage lender, insurance agent, somebody who's seen a contractor in work, and see what they do and see what they offer. Waiting till the last minute to do that is not a good thing, because for example, our hailstorm, we had rain right after the hail for 2 days. Yeah. Had you not had your roof inspected immediately after the storm, you could have had significant water damage, and then that creates mold, and a claim that could be a couple $1,000s is now tens of thousands of dollars because we waited to go look at the property. Yeah. So it's very important to go ahead, have it inspected first, and then go and file the claim. See what's going on. Protect your home first.
How about solar panels? Who fixes solar panels?
So solar panels is an interesting thing because you actually have to be certified to install and remove solar panels in the event of a claim. Now, I know one of the roofing companies I work with, Precise Roofing, they have solar guys who come out, install and uninstall solar panels if there's a hailstorm. Most of the solar panels will hold up pretty good with hail, but this hailstorm was so bad that I've seen broken skylights, I've seen broken solar panels, and all of that, of course, is covered under your insurance policy, but you have to make sure that you get it dealt with as quickly as possible so that you can prevent any further damage to your property.
Right. So Toby's actually in Washington State and in Colorado. So he's in Washington State and Colorado. But Toby, give us your phone number again.
Yeah. So my phone number is 303-877-8521. And, if you have any questions about what's covered, what's not covered, if you just need a policy review or you're looking for quotes, I can handle all of that. If you're looking for a licensed contractor, especially in Colorado, I don't know so many in Washington, but in Colorado especially, I do know some reputable contractors that are insured and bonded. I've seen their work. I've seen how they handle clients, and that goes a long way and to keeping your home protected.
Are fires a different supplemental insurance too?
No, fires are included. Actually, homeowners insurance was originally created for fire.
Oh.
Wow. Well, I think we're up. But Toby, thank you so much. And we're going to call you back again because you've got so much information. So thank you.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
Everyone. Yeah.
So anyways, thank you everybody for showing for showing up, and please go ahead and share this show. We'll see you next time. Until then, my name is Tina Lombard. I'm with Bank of England.
And I'm Violeta Strash with John L. Scott.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to
Bye-bye.
Real Estate and
Thanks,
Money.
Toby.
Your hosts, Violeta Strash and Tina Lombard. For more information, call 206-717-4490. That's 206-717-4490. Go to the Rainier Avenue Radio.world website to find the Real Estate and Money schedule, or tune in to our live show every Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 to 3. We will help you find your dream home.